This is Kiko number. I wish I could tell you, but it's been rubbed off. Hi, lovelies. Happy late Valentine's. This is for you. I've been busy snowboarding, but let's talk social anxiety. Many people's worst or one of worst nightmares that stops you from living up to your potential or living what you want to experience, if you get what I mean. Let's just dive right into it. Okay. Like many people, during COVID, I experienced my worst mental state. One of the one of the things I was experiencing the most was extreme social anxiety. COVID wasn't the cause of this. Something else that happened was a cause of this, but COVID and the pandemic didn't help. It made it worse. So, what is extreme social anxiety? Again, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, psychologist, therapist, anything like that. I'm talking out of experience and experience alone. So what is extreme social anxiety or social anxiety in general? It's when you're in a room, let's say a classroom, and you feel that every single person is looking at you through a lens of like disgust or cringe or who does she think she is? Who does he think he is? Who do they think they are? And it's so I'm going to try my best to explain this, but it's so heavy. It's such a heavy burden that everywhere you go, you just feel like you need to make yourself small, invisible. Please, like, you feel like you're in everyone's way. You make everyone's life worse. Just stay quiet, because if you raise your hand in class to answer a question, everyone's going to turn around, look at you, stare into your soul, and judge you because you answered wrong, or your voice is weird, or something about your makeup is off, or your shoes are a bit dirty. Saying this now, it sounds so stupid, but my 17-year-old self, it was extreme. I hated it. For example, the school I went to in high school, there was a huge playground, like every school, and I did not dare walk across it alone, because if I did that, everyone would stop and turn around and look at me and just judge the way I was walking. Oh, why is she walking so weird? Why is she moving that way? Why are her clothes sitting on her body like that? It was mostly like the way I walk. That was my most anxiety thing. So it was at a point that I had to walk around the entire playground instead of just straight ahead. Which would take 10 seconds, I walked around, and this was a huge playground. Therapy helps, but my parents could only afford so much therapy, and after that, I was my own therapist, which is fine. Not everyone can afford therapy. Now, luckily, in Belgium, therapy is free when you're under the age of 24, and I will make sure to put a link in the description. Now, let's talk about how to get over that. Because we don't like social anxiety. Social anxiety stops us from living our best life, from talking and meeting to new people that, yes, first are strangers, but they may become into nice friendships or more. Number 1, journaling. Journal. Whether you record videos of yourself talking, yapping, whether you record just a voice memo on your phone, or whether you write or draw, whatever, just get the feelings that you are experiencing onto something physical. So the first thing that came to mind, I journaled. And many people tell me, oh, but Sequoia, my feelings, my thoughts are racing way faster than I can write. I get that. I've been there. I'm still there. Thoughts go way quicker than you're writing. So to that, I want to say, when you journal, it's not you writing a beautiful letter to a loved one. It's you just putting thoughts down. So it doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be pretty. Your handwriting doesn't need to like flow or follow grammar. Or when I journal, gosh, it's a mess. It looks like I just learned to write because I'm just jotting down my thoughts. Just boom, 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 boom. And so I jot down my thoughts, and then I write. I'm like, why is this? Why am I thinking like that? Why is this affecting me? It's not that big of a deal. Why do I make it such a big deal? And I jot it down and I write it down, and eventually I come to an answer as to why I feel that way, or why I make it such a big deal when in reality, it's not. It's not to diminish or invalidate people's feelings. It's more for myself, because when something small happens in my life, like before when I had social anxiety, I let it affect me until it ruined my week. Not my day, my week. So, it kind of had to put a stop to it. And after I've journaled about it, I'm just like, okay, not a big deal. I was just overthinking it. It's fine. Just journal until you come to an answer to your own questions. So, number 2 is please be kind and be patient with yourself. It's really important. It's going to take time, but you will get better. And what I mean with better is like feel less of that social anxiety. Social anxiety doesn't just happen like this. It builds up gradually after you've experienced multiple life experiences, stuff that has happened to you or in your surroundings. And this is not your fault. Social anxiety is not your fault. It's just a response that you've developed based on your surroundings. So I need you to be kind with yourself, patient with yourself. Know that it's not your fault. Do not talk mean about yourself. Okay? Don't say, why am I like this? Why does no one like me? None of that. Just say, okay, I am feeling all these feelings and I want to change. Because that's the first step, wanting to change. And there's nothing bad with having social anxiety. It's just, I know it's heavy. I know it's heavy. You guys, I'm talking from experience, not from a judging perspective at all. Like, this is not a judging place. Oh, I can't sit still, I'm sorry. Number 3, this one can be kind of scary, but it helped me the most, got me the furthest, for sure, in my journey of healing from social anxiety, and that is exposure therapy. I said it. No, okay, well, now it sounds like I'm trying to be funny, but it's not. Exposure therapy, yeah. An example for exposure therapy is from the beginning of the video when I talked about the playground. One of the first things I did as exposure therapy was I walked across the playground instead of around it, all by myself. It doesn't mean that I was cured from my anxiety. Far from. It was just the beginning of my journey. But point is that I did it even though I felt that like people are staring at me. They're turning around. They're going to look at me. Why is she walking like that? Her hair is like sitting weird. Oh, her face, there's something wrong with it. And you can see me breathing now because it's really heavy. Social anxiety, the energy of it is just, the essence is heavy. It's not light. It's not fun and fluffy and dainty and whatever energy you want to be. It's heavy. It's like an anchor that keeps you down, drowning. The podcasts that I listen to about social anxiety and how to get over it, some of them mentioned exposure therapy. Now, a few examples of what you can do is just doing things that make you uncomfortable. Now, make sure that you're not in danger, like your life isn't in actual danger, just it feels like it. For example, asking a question in class. I know, I know. It sounds so insane to a person who doesn't have anxiety, and to a person who does have anxiety, it also sounds like the end of you. If you have a job, just smile to a person you've not talked to yet. Just smile, okay? And if you feel brave, you can even try to voice a hi. That can get the snowball rolling. Now I'm still working on this, and I'm 21 now, so 17 till 21, that's 4 years. Yes, well, I failed math, but 4 years, yeah. That's 4 years, and I feel like I'm pretty much over my social anxiety. That is due to the exposure therapy I put myself through. I worked so much on it and always pushing myself a bit more. So every time I got comfortable walking a place all by myself. Next thing, asking a question in class until I was comfortable. Okay, next thing. What's the next thing that makes me uncomfortable? Eating out alone, just going to a cafe, grabbing a coffee. I did that. I pushed myself until I got comfortable, until I do it just for fun. Now I go to cafes alone just because I love being in my own space, my own energy, just reading my book, just tasting the coffee or whatever your favorite drink is. Okay, I got comfortable going to cafes alone. Activities, museums, cinemas. Do it until you're comfortable. Do it until it becomes something you look forward to. It might sound crazy. It might sound like I'm never going to get there, but I promise you, you will. Just start with the small things. Just tune into yourself. Follow what makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, but not too much. Just a bit. And then do that until you feel comfortable. And then, as I said, I feel like I'm over my social anxiety. I know I am. But it still creeps in here and there every now and then. I'm human, but also, I'm still working on it. And that is talking to strangers. I make it a goal of mine to talk to at least one stranger a month. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes I talk to multiple strangers a month just because I'm feeling ballsy. And it usually doesn't end in friendship. But I usually give a compliment or ask a question, or we have a little conversation. For example, the barista I go to that's close to my place is usually the same lady that serves me, and I said like, what about that bakery? I think it's new, isn't it? I haven't seen it. And then we talked a bit about it, and I said, yeah, I live close by. And then she said, I remember seeing you, blah, 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 just small conversations like that. And sometimes you can pick an easy person to talk to. For example, someone that works in service, like the barista I talk to. You can even smile to the bus driver or say thank you. Also, easy excuse is if you want to give up your seat to a person. You can say, hey, do you want this seat? Then boom. It might not have been a discussion, but you still dared talking to a stranger. And so that way you can build up slowly your ability to talk to strangers, be more comfortable about it, potentially make friends, or just practice your social skills. And one day, social anxiety is gone. You don't know that, babe. You'll be so confident that talking to strangers is fun. Going out alone is fun. Don't get me wrong, going out with my friends is the best. So my lovelies, I know this was quite a late and short video, but I still hope you can learn from this, take some tips and tricks or something from this, and just know that this is a space of no judgment. I love everyone, and have a nice rest of your February.